2025. The time is 10:02 a.m. In attendance are Commissioners Eberline, Duncan, and Matari. I'm going to call this meeting to order, and we will begin with a moment of silence. Okay, next up is the Pledge of Allegiance. Jeff, you want to start us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Changes to the agenda. Hearing none. Public comment. Hearing none. I'll take a motion on the meeting minutes.
I move to approve meeting minutes 1 through 5.
Second.
Commissioner Eberline?
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan?
Aye.
Chair Matari?
Aye. Consent calendar.
I make a motion to approve the consent calendar, number 6 through 16.
Second.
Commissioner Eberline?
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan?
Aye.
Chair Matari?
Aye. And payables.
I move that we approve the payables for May 26 through 30, 2025 in the amount of $303,026.85, along with jury panel payments in the amount of $583.55.
Second.
Commissioner Eberline?
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan?
Aye.
Chair Matari?
Aye. Okay, first business item, number 18. Board approval request, change event number 111 CUA-148, added window shades at the Justice Building with Bouten Construction in our Building and Grounds, and we have Jeff Fuller from Building and Grounds to talk about that.
Good morning, Commissioners. This one we've talked about a couple of different times, but this is to add the window shades. I briefed it last week at the status update meeting. We actually ended up adding 18 exterior blinds to meet the threshold of the 100, which brought us into a volume discount, and that brought the overall price down a couple thousand, about $2,000. So this will be purchased through using the FF&E budget, and we're seeking your approval to sign this change order and initiate the blind order.
Thank you. Questions? Motion?
Just that it's said that it's coming from design contingency, but it's not. It's coming from,
Correct on this one.
okay, from FF&E. Okay.
Motion?
I move that we approve the change event 111 CUA-148, which is the added window shades for the Justice Building expansion.
Second.
Commissioner Eberline?
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan?
Aye.
Chair Matari?
Aye, motion carries. Next up, item 19, board approval request. This is change event number 112, CUA-016, expansion of joint connection details with the Justice Building, Building and Grounds, and Jeff Fuller again.
All right. And I'll introduce John Staub with Bouten Construction. I have him as well in case there's any detailed questions over these next two change orders that we're going to go over. He can kind of help explain some of the technical gaps on this. But this one is for the connection point. It's an expansion joint where the new building connects to the existing building. And until we opened up the walls in there, we didn't exactly know what that connection was going to be. So this is making up the gap in, the scope gap of knowing that we need to do something, but we didn't know the full scope of work for that. So that's what this change order is for, in the amount of $27,895.17.
Thank you. Questions? Motion?
I move that we approve change event 112 CUA-016, and this is for the expansion joint connection details.
Second.
Commissioner Eberline?
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan?
Aye.
Chair Matari?
Aye, motion carries. Next up, item 20, board approval request. This is change event number 130, CUA-019, building inspector, added fire stopping scope, again at the Justice Building, Bouten, and Building and Grounds, and Jeff Fuller again.
Okay, so this change order is for, as noted in the descriptions, fire stopping. And so as we go in and we do the fire stopping in there, generally we work towards an industry standard that are listed throughout there. The inspector that does this job was requiring on multiple different occasions to go above and beyond what that industry standard is. For example, there's a couple places he wanted caulking that we wouldn't necessarily have to put fire caulking in, but he said, no, I will not sign off until you do that. There's drywall that he required a second layer of drywall to be put in that is above what we would say is the industry standard. There's a lot of detail in the packet that we submitted to you just so you could see the backup of it. John went through in great detail and looked at those as well to, you know, compare those just to make sure those really were legitimate costs and above and beyond you know, what a normal scope of work would be. This inspector has a history of doing that, of kind of, you know, holding people to a standard that is even above and beyond. In fact, he's been known to, he was calling a couple of these to say, hey, your standard is wrong, and kind of telling them how he thought it should be done. But ultimately, he was holding us accountable to what he thought it should be done. And, you know, in this, you know, overall change order, there's about 9 different items that kind of through the scope of this work, he would call us to say, you know, I will not sign off until you do this. And so essentially that's what we're looking at with this change order, seeking your approval for this one.
Question.
Yes,
From what entity is that inspector?
the city of Coeur d'Alene.
Figures.
Any other questions?
Yeah, was this tied into the original thing we talked about months and months ago? Is this the fruition, or is this a separate issue from the?
This is more for, so I think the issue that you're probably referring to is there were some very specific things that he was calling out in chases and the elevators.
Yes.
So that was one. This is more the fire stopping throughout the building in
Gotcha.
various components.
Okay, thank you.
If no other questions, I'll take a motion.
I move that we approve change event 130 COA-019 for this is the building inspector, fire inspector added fire stopping scope.
Second.
Commissioner Eberline?
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan?
Aye.
Chair Matari?
Aye, motion carries. Next up, item 21. This is board approval request for invoice number 202-51293, locks, Western Detention at Juvenile Detention Center. Again, with Building and Grounds and Director Voller.
Yes, and I have Gary Hayes with Juvenile Detention Center here with me as well, just to introduce him for the record. This is an invoice that we are seeking payment for. We recognize as we got this invoice that it exceeds the amount that we will own it. We should have gotten pre-approval for this. I wrote a memo to kind of describe a little bit of what happened. It was, there was a training teaching us how to do the lock assemblies, and through that training there was an opportunity that arose where we could rebuild and remanufacture our existing locks, and we thought that was a great idea to do. We just didn't fully recognize with the, you know, the 30 locks that we had to rebuild that the overall scope would come in quite as high as it did. But nonetheless, we, you know, the positive outcome of this is we have 30 locks now that will last us for the next 5 to 7 years. So we can continue to replace those locks that we have at the JDC. And so we apologize for the oversight in missing that pre-approval, but we're requesting your approval so we can pay this invoice.
Okay, and your budget can handle it.
The budget can handle that, yes.
Perfect.
What was the overrun cost?
Well, the total invoice is $23,000, and we were supposed to seek approval over $10,000.
Next time.
Yes, we are aware.
Any other questions? Motion?
Second.
I move that we approve the invoice 2025-1293 for the locks with Western Detention and our Juvenile Detention Center.
Second.
Commissioner Eberline?
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan?
Aye.
Chair Matari?
Aye, motion carries. Item 22 is up next. Board approval request, a proposal to repair a boiler at Atlas Boiler and Equipment at the old courthouse, Building and Grounds. And Director Voller, you are capturing most of this meeting
I
today.
am, right? I think this is my last one, but So for today, so this is a proposal that I have in your packet for, the boiler is leaking. There's two boilers in the basement of the old courthouse. One of them is leaking. It is repairable, and so we would basically reseal it, and that'll extend the life of that boiler. And so we're seeking approval to get that work done. The funds for that will come out of the 8517 account for building and maintenance from our annual budget for this year.
Thank you. Questions? Motion?
I move that we approve the proposal for the boiler repair with Atlas Boiler and Equipment for the old courthouse.
Second.
Commissioner Eberline.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chair Notari.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Next up, item 23, Memorandum of Agreement, GIS Datasets Sharing for NG9-1-1 Program with Idaho Public Safety Communications Commission and 911. Colin McRoy, are you on the telephone? Okay, we can come back to that one. Let's go to item 24, Board Approval Request. Approve payment Justice Door Control Invoice 2172. This is with Information Technology and Grant Kinsey.
Hello, Commissioners. Yeah, this is just a previously budgeted item for the Justice Building door controls. Just looking to get.
I'm going to bring it closer to you. Well, yeah, there you go.
Looking to get approval to pay the invoice.
Any questions? Motion?
I move that we approve the payment for the Justice Door Control Invoice 2172.
Second.
Commissioner Eberline.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chair Notari.
Aye. Motion carries. Next up, item 25, Board Approval Request.
Can you
think
put
it's
that
this-
close to you?
Bring it closer to you.
Yeah, so I don't,
There you go.
Get somebody from IT to fix that thing.
not IT system, unfortunately.
So we are on item 25, Board Approval Request, approve payment for the Justice Door Control Invoice 2171. And this is with Information Technology and Grant Kinsey again.
Exact same scenario, Commissioners, just another invoice.
Thank you. Questions?
Nope.
Nope.
Motion?
I move that we approve the payment for the Justice Door Control, and this is invoice 2171.
Second.
Commissioner Eberline.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chair Notari.
Aye. Motion carries. Next up, item 26, Ground Lease AAL-2025-500, Ramp Only, Fightertown LLC. This is with the airport, and do we have Kim Stevenson on the telephone?
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. Kim Stevenson for the record. We are asking for approval of this ground lease. It is for 100,018 square feet of ramp only for non-exclusive aircraft parking. They currently have some property that they're leasing adjacent to that. This is an annual revenue of $11,001.98. So, yeah, we're looking for approval for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions? Motion?
I move that we approve ground lease AAL 2025-500, and this is for the ramp only with Fightertown LLC.
Second.
Commissioner Eberline.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chair Notari.
Aye. Motion carries. Next up, item 27, Board Approval Request with Panhandle Village Water System Improvements Phase 2 Idaho Community Development Block Grant. This is a grant closeout, and we have our Auditor's Department as well. Dorian Combrick, are you on the telephone?
I am. Good morning, Commissioners. This is Dorian Combrick on behalf of the Auditor's Office for the record. The Panhandle Village Water System Improvements Phase 2 project has reached final completion, and the Idaho Community Development Block Grant that assisted in funding the project is also ready for closeout and final reimbursement of grant funds. Panhandle Area Council, as certified grant administrator for the block grant, has prepared the final reimbursement request and closeout documents, which are required to be submitted to the funding agency, which is the Idaho Community Development Block Grant Program with the Idaho Department of Commerce. We are seeking board approval and signature of these documents, which include the closeout agreement, final performance report, and final financial report. The auditor's office and legal have both reviewed and approved the documents.
Thank you. Any questions? Motion?
I move that we approve the Panhandle Village Water System Improvements Phase 2 Idaho Community Development Block Grant Closeout.
I concur.
Commissioner Eberline,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chair Matari.
Aye. Motion carries. Colin, are you on the telephone?
Mr. Chairman, yes, I am.
Okay, well, let's go back to item 23. This is a memorandum of agreement with GIS Datasets sharing for NG 9-1-1 program with Idaho Public Safety Communications Commission and 911 and Colin McCrory.
Good morning, Commissioners. Apologize for missing the time difference. This is Colin McCrory, Kootenai County Sheriff's Office 911, for the record. This is a memorandum of agreement between Kootenai County and the Idaho Public Safety Communications Commission that came out of a requirement we would like as the 911 Center and 911 system to participate in the Next Gen Core Services grant program that the IPSCC is doing this year. And the grant application is one big grant with a bunch of counties participating. And to participate with that program, we have to sign this agreement to share our GIS data, as GIS data is super critical to Next Gen 911 and core services, and it was identified and realized that not sharing your GIS data at the core services standard doesn't just impact you, but it impacts your neighbors. So there was put this requirement on to participate in that program, and Kootenai County 911 would like to, and so this MOA is before you for approval, and it has been reviewed by and approved by legal.
Thank you. Any questions? Motion?
I move that we approve the memorandum of agreement, GIS Datasets sharing for Next Generation 911 with Idaho Public Safety Communications Commission.
Second.
Commissioner Eberline.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chair Matari.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Next up, item 28, board approval request. This is an easement agreement with Avista, an elections office with the BOCC. Anyone want to take this one?
I don't know if Asa wants to do that. I was notified of it as well, that there's a neighboring property who is getting some electrical work done, and Avista asked if they could come onto our property and do that. I don't know if you have more information, Asa.
Commissioners, Asa Gray, Elections Manager for the record. I don't really have any more information than that, other than it's just a very small portion of our parking lot that they will be coming into and repairing when they're done, so it won't affect the building and it shouldn't affect our operations in any way.
And you'll ensure that it's repaired to your satisfaction?
Yes, absolutely.
Especially when you start cutting up asphalt?
Yes, exactly. No, certainly.
Okay. Any questions or a motion?
I move that we approve the easement agreement with Avista for the elections parking lot.
Second.
Commissioner Eberline.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chair Matari.
Aye. Motion carries. The next item is actually an executive session, so I'm going to go ahead and call for public comment. It's our last item, public comment. Hearing none, we'll go into item 29, fair processes, and I'll take a motion to go into executive session.
I move that we enter into executive session pursuant to Idaho Code 742061D.
Second.
Commissioner Eberline.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chair Matari.
Aye.
We are ready to rock and roll.
Okay, 10:58. I'll take a motion to exit executive session.
I move we exit executive session with staff to proceed as discussed.
Second.
Commissioner Eberline.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chair Matari.
Aye. 10:58, meeting adjourned.